Crystal Tower information, Whiskey 21530, wind 060 at 5.
076 Mike Juliet, this is departure radar contact.
Hazardous weather information from Minnesota available on flight service frequency.
You've dialed in the Flying Midwest podcast, connecting aviators from across America's heartland, sharing news, information, and events from around the region.
Calling Nancy 53 on Oak Tower, Roger, turn left heading 070, runway 9er, clear for takeoff.
Sit back, relax, and join our crew for some hangar talk as we discuss a wide variety of regional aviation topics.
Archer 71143, flying flag, runway 28 left, quick takeoff, left hand southbound.
And now, from our home at the Anoka County Blaine Airport, our checklist is complete, and we're ready for departure for another episode of the Flying Midwest podcast.
Contact departure, every flight.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Flying Midwest podcast. My name is Maddie, and I am joined with my two wonderful co-hosts, Jim. Hello, Jim.
Hello.
And the Badger Pilot.
Good morning.
Morning, Badger. So it's been a little bit. Our lives have been super chaotic. So, of course, that means a super rigid and acceptable schedule for a podcast, right?
That's why we're recording in the morning on a Sunday now instead of a Monday evening.
Monday evenings like usual, yes. So with that, I'm sure we've been plenty busy. So what have you guys been up to?
Me, mostly it's work. I'm transitioning roles within my office, and I'm essentially doing two jobs and training my replacement for my old spot. So it's been hectic. It's been a lot of long hours, but not a ton of aviation.
Well, you are making some headway on your lesson plans, right?
I am. I had said in an episode of the other podcast that I had two more to write, and I was going to get right at it and start writing it as soon as I was done with that episode, and then I didn't. So,
hey, but you're almost
so
done.
I still have two more to go.
That's okay. You still just have two more to go. Good job.
Right.
If you all are the ones who aren't CFIs in the audience, writing your own lesson plans is scary. I didn't even do it fully. I bought mine and edited them, which took a long time. So I can't imagine writing my own. So props to you, Jim.
I will say that I've learned, I think, probably more than if I would have just bought some, trying to explain things in a way that makes sense as opposed to just, here's what this lesson plan that's already made says. Like, I have to figure out how to put this together in a way that someone who's not a pilot is going to understand.
No, I think that's brilliant.
Badger, are you awake?
I'm awake, although I think my screen just froze for a second. Nope, I'm back. Okay. My internet is about as awake as I am right now. I, too, have been quite busy with work, and thankfully I've been able to sneak some flying in. I think last we talked, I was having more maintenance issues. I was getting an overheat indication for the oil temperature, and we narrowed it down to the probe, and so I've got a new oil temperature probe in, and I am back to flying, and flying higher than I ever have before. I hit 10,500 the other day, which was fun.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Very fun.
So doing fun things, getting out and flying while I can.
And before it gets
There you go.
rigid.
Yeah, before we get into winter flying.
Winter is coming. Freeze your little
Not that that's foreshadowing or anything, but
It is. That'll make sense in about 45 minutes for everybody else.
what about you, Maddie? What's new?
Sheesh, not a lot, honestly. I did go to the Topeka Air Show. I don't know if we talked about that. The Thunder Over the Heartland Air Show, which was very, very cool. Highly recommend if you are in the Kansas-ish area in probably 2 years. I think they're going to do it every 2 years. It was very well done. The Thunderbirds were there. They put on a stupendous performance. It was amazing. And I got to sit in a DC-3, which I have never done before. And I got to watch fireworks, and it was the best. So, but otherwise, last week, I pretty much was stuck in the sim, which is fine. Learning more about the beach shit every day. But I was there with a Turkish client, which was interesting. I've never done EASA before. Turkey isn't technically EASA, but they do EASA things. So it was all European. So we went all to European airports, and that was really fun. And he was a fun dude. So I had a good time, but otherwise not much new stuff.
Well, as mentioned on the top of the show, we have not been the most rigidly scheduled or the best at putting out episodes every week, but one podcast that has is our friends over at the Midlife Pilot Podcast, and it's led them to an awesome milestone. They are recording their 100th episode. Well, we're recording this on a Sunday morning, so tomorrow for them, maybe today by the time this comes out. So we wanted to extend a huge congratulations to the folks over at the Midlife Pilot Podcast. For those not familiar, it was started years ago by Chris and Brian, and just found a unique niche in the podcast space about learning to fly in midlife. And Chris stepped away from the podcast, but Ben and Ted stepped in and brought their own unique twist to it. And it's been really fun to watch the evolution over the years. So congratulations to the Midlife Pilot Podcast folks on 100 episodes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to sport my Midlife Pilot gear for this episode. Since I don't think either of us are going to be able to fly out to West Virginia to partake in that event. That would have been really cool if we could have, even if it was just like a surprise. But those guys put together a pretty good product. So congratulations to them on 100 episodes.
So speaking of milestones and big deals, we have a very special friend of the podcast who also has some news.
He's an honorary Midwesterner at this point. So Mr. Brian Turner, who is just plain silly, is going to have to start getting a little bit more serious as he's gotten a gig with the Regional Airlines. So he had an interview earlier this month and got a job offer. It's still going to be a number of months before he's actually able to start training, but at least he's at a point now where he has an offer with the Regional. So huge congratulations to him. He has been working his tail off to get those hours in.
He has. He's been killing it.
Yeah, he has. Plus, he's still putting together a YouTube channel, still doing some consulting work as far as his IT gig. So that dude's been busy. So congratulations, Brian. We're really happy for you.
Yeah, I don't think the comedy's slowing down, though. Did you see the video he put out this morning?
No.
Instead of pilots and paws, it's pilots and paws.
It's so funny.
It's hilarious, flying grandpas to their forever homes.
It's probably kidnapping.
Oh my god. I need to see that.
It's pretty good. You're going to have to check that out.
You guys...
There is one more accommodation I want to mention real quick, and that's for Richard Morey. Go figure. Then, well, I don't know if he is the namesake. Maybe Ryan in the chat will tell me or not. But Richard Morey from the Morey Airport received the Wright Brothers Award for 50 years of safe aviation. So congratulations to Richard Morey. It's a name that's synonymous with aviation in Wisconsin. So congratulations.
Yeah.
Dang.
Congratulations all the same. That sounded kind of rude.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, dang, dude.
Starting in Mount Vernon, Ohio, where ground was officially broken for a new aviation facility at the Knox County Airport. It's designed to provide the community with access to local aviation educational opportunities. But what's unique about this is that it's not just for kids learning about aviation. It also has the potential to expand beyond with 4-H projects, FFA projects, and training for drones, which are aviation, but of course now that's more prevalent in modern day life. The center plans to be a hub for learning, skill building, and exploration, as well as fostering a new generation of aviators. But again, moving beyond aviation, they're looking at developing engineers and industry professionals and business professionals as well. The project's estimated to cost about $1.5 million, but it's primarily covered by state capital funds. And the airport will cover the remaining costs through grants and fundraising. And the opening right now is slated for the end of 2025. And that's how you read your article instead of summarize.
Oh, that's too funny.
Good grief.
Oh, okay. Moorefield is not named after Richard. It's named after his papa, Howard.
Did his papa go to his forever home?
Thank you, Ryan.
Just cross the Rainbow Bridge.
Damn! No. Going down south for now, the federal government is actually going to be doing some low-level airplane flights to get imaging for geology purposes over the Ozark Mountains. So this includes Missouri, Kansas, and a little bit of Arkansas. It's mostly Missouri. So it's going to take about 8 months, and they actually just put out a press release about it. They're doing this to provide images that to kind of expand the knowledge of geology that is under the Ozark Plateau. So they'll actually be able to map out places where the minerals are. It's pretty cool. They obviously know more than I do. They're going to be using Piper Navajos, so you may see more Navajos around. And they have a bunch of special equipment on them. I think the government just generally wants you to know that the imaging that they are getting, they're not going to hurt you. They're not, there are no emissions or things like radiation or anything. They're not getting actually any photos or video. It's going to be just different imaging that they do with these spectrometers and stuff. Yeah, so if you're in that area and you see any low flying airplanes and they're going in weird straight line patterns, they're probably doing these surveys, which is super cool. So stay tuned in about 8 months for the data to come out on that.
All right, moving to Iowa, where 100, what they're referring to as flight students from 7 different flight schools, all converged on the Dubuque Regional Airport for the Intercollegiate Flying Association's SafeCon, meant to help these young pilots who are striving for a career in aviation to hone in their skills, test their skills against others, and just have good camaraderie and network with other pilots from other flight schools as well. The article did highlight one of the students, Lily Pfeiffer, for being one of the few women in University of Dubuque's flight school, and highlighted not only the need, but the rise in female aviators, which of course will take pilots regardless of who you are, but it's nice to see female role models in aviation. And obviously events like this are meant to highlight and showcase the students' training and potentially even recruit for the schools as well. But at the end of the day, it's all about developing safe pilots so that they are prepared for real world scenarios in the future.
So Textron is planning on flight testing their Nexus eVTOL aircraft at Salina Airport. So if you don't know, Textron is native to Wichita. Textron owns Cessna, Beechcraft, Hawker, et cetera, everything, Bell Helicopter. They own pretty much everything. So they've been working on, apparently, an eVTOL. So if you're not familiar, eVTOL is like an electric Osprey, basically. So it has vertical takeoff and landing capabilities, and it is also electric. And this one is going to be drone operated. So very similar to the Joby and some of the other eVTOLs that are starting to come out from different companies. So they're planning on testing this stuff at Salina. So this initial flight testing is due to begin in 2025, so next year. They actually announced this earlier this month. The first Nexus airframe is being built right now here in Wichita, and they're planning on having it in service in the 2030s. It should have 4 passengers. This is kind of miscellaneous, doesn't necessarily have to do with the Midwest, but because we've been talking about air taxis, I know we screamed about them a little bit at Oshkosh because they had a demo and it was really frightening. I think that was 2 years ago. As of not even a week ago, federal regulators actually have now defined VTOLs, so these electric powered air taxis. So this is a new, sorry, why can't I find the word? So if you're a student pilot, you know category, class, and type, right? So this is a new category of airplane. So this has not been done, really. The kind of regulations around things like VTOLs are a little weird and have been until just this last week. So So this rule recognizes air taxis as an entirely new type of aircraft that are, because they're being designed, this is the newest push aside from sustainable aviation fuel in the aviation world. So these are known as the powered lift aircraft. So this is the newest category, and the last category that was added was helicopters, which, rotorcraft. So that was 80 years ago. So this is actually pretty cool and will help spearhead some of these air taxi operators and designers to actually make strides in creating these things.
Attention parents, do you have a kid that loves aviation and also who you want to get out of the house for a few weeks over the summer? Well, look no further than the EAA Aviation Air Academy. It's the longest running youth academy residence camp in the world, and registration is now open for sessions in 2025. There's a variety of different types of sessions with age-specific activities ranging from age 14 to 18 groups. And the earliest camp begins as early as June 12th, and they have a variety of date ranges through August 2nd. If you'd like to learn more about how to get your kid out of the house for the summer to learn about aviation, you can go check it out at eaa.org/Air Academy.
That's fun.
I too would like to get my kid out of the house.
There you go. Now you have a place.
Do you guys hear about the Gamma aircraft design contest? You guys know
I've
about
not.
that? It's a high school thing where high school teams can get together and they basically get a free course. Like it can be after school or in like a science or something class. They take a course and then they design their own airplane in X-Plane. And then they go have a fly off with 149 other schools around the country. And whoever does the best obviously wins, and like the top 3 get. The first one I think gets a tour of the Cub Crafters facility. The second place gets Redbird comes and does like a 2-day like sim lab with them, and then the third gets ForeFlight for a year. So like I know what I'd be trying to get. They get
Third
performance plus for your equal year.
Third place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Going for
ForeFlight.
third, baby.
I mean, a tour only lasts a couple hours. ForeFlight lasts the whole year.
That's true.
Yeah.
Exactly. The gift that keeps on giving, am I right?
Yeah.
So
For a year.
for a year. Hey, it's longer than 2 days.
Sure.
So that was my short plug for Gamma's design contest. So if you're in high school or you know people in high school who want to design an airplane, and this is completely free, tell them to get on that. I'll put the link in the show notes. More like
Word.
I'll grab the link and make Jim put it in the show notes.
Correct. You will. All right. Well, thank you for all that riveting news. Nothing? No smart ass? Okay.
No, we're too tired for that.
What, riveting, building airplanes? Is that what you're getting
That actually wasn't where I was
That's so
going with that,
good.
but that's
Oh my
great.
gosh.
Let's leave it.
I'm mad that's not where you were going with it.
It's I would love to claim that I was very intentional with that, but I wasn't. So
That's okay.
Thanks for picking up where I left off, Badger. Appreciate that. Before we get back into this episode, a quick word from those who make the podcast possible. Guess what, all my aviation friends? Summer has come to a close. We're midway through fall already, and before you know it, it's going to be time for holiday shopping. Well, have I got some ideas for you for your favorite aviator or aviation enthusiast. Starting off with my favorite aviation sunglasses, Flying Eyes Optics. They are the only eyewear designed specifically with pilots in mind. Flying Eyes frames are ultralight, flexible, and you won't even feel them under your headset. Their lenses are top-notch, they cut out the glare, and they protect your eyes from the bright skies. Plus, Flying Eyes offers prescription options for those who need to keep their vision sharp no matter what. Grab a pair this holiday season and use our code FlyingMidwest10 and you will save 10% off your order. Make your flights easier and clearer with Flying Eyes. Next up, let's talk about Lightspeed headsets, perfect for anyone who spends hours in the cockpit. These guys are known for their premium sound and advanced noise reduction, and Lightspeed headsets keep you fully immersed in communication. reducing fatigue on those long flights. I've had my Lightspeed headset for over 10 years and I would not dream of flying with anything else. They are rugged, they're built for comfort, and it's a gift that will keep on giving. By using our affiliate link down in the show notes, you'll also help support the podcast.
I am very excited about this. We have the folks from Deltahawk talking about the innovations they're making in piston-powered energy and specifically the unique fuel that they are using. For those not in the know, Deltahawk has created a piston-powered engine that doesn't run on avgas. It runs on what is often referred to as jet fuel. And they talk about some of the awesome benefits that you get out of that. The number one, I'm sure, for pilots will be that jet fuel is cheaper than avgas. So go save some money.
Save some money after you spend some money, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So that'll be cool to listen to because
you weren't there.
I'm outie. Sorry, I had left Oshkosh at that point. Sorry, guys.
Don't be sorry. It gives you an excuse to actually listen to another episode. So. All right. Well, without further ado, our AirVenture interview with the guys over at Deltahawk. Thanks to the guys over at Deltahawk for giving us a little bit of time out of their very busy schedule at AirVenture. It was really cool learning about what they're doing. It's great to feature another Midwest company and seeing the great things they're doing with aviation.
Yeah, those guys were a lot of fun to talk to. And
Yes,
hopefully next year we can meet up with them and see what sort of advancements they've made in the past year or so. So thank you guys.
I'm trying to remember if we discussed you being the Wisconsin affiliate with those guys, because that's who you talked to last year, right?
Yeah, I don't
Or is it the same
remember.
guys?
I don't remember. Dennis was who I talked to in 2023, and yes, I introduced myself as the Wisconsin affiliate of the Flying Midwest podcast, just to make everything sound a little more official.
And look how far you've come.
Wow.
Yeah. And now
official
I'm
member.
Now I'm an official member. I'm just an affiliate now.
Well, I feel bad that we keep leaving Maddie out of interviews and episode parts, so I'm going to let her tell us about what our next episode is.
Great. Just kidding. Okay, so actually, we're getting a little bit back to our roots, and we are once again going to talk about winter flying. This will be a solo episode, so we're going to actually talk with each other and not with some person we're dragging onto the podcast. So that'll be really exciting. It's been a while since we've done one. I think the last one we talked about, or the last one we had, was our talking about for solo or check ride.
We did check ride, but I think we also did one on mental health where it was just us.
Oh, that's true. We did that. Yeah.
But I can't remember where in the order of things that falls. It all starts to roll together.
Yeah, we've done so many episodes at this point. It's, it's hard to remember when exactly. But we did.
I mean, not 100, but we're working our way through.
We're doing our best. It's our, yeah. Okay, repping a different podcast in our podcast. Can we relax?
Well, it's something that happens sometimes. So
So we're going to be talking about winter flying, probably fall and winter flying, because, a lot of that stuff kind of melts together. But I think that'll be fun. I'll actually hopefully get to redeem myself and not have a CFI minute or whatever. Gosh, that was embarrassing. Yeah,
do you remember doing those? You did. That was our second episode,
yeah.
I think.
I was also not... Was that the one where I wasn't home? I don't remember. Okay.
I don't remember either.
I just remember it being called a CFI minute, but it was way more than a minute.
It was 7 minutes long.
I tried my best. I am so bad at being pithy and short. So I am sorry that I took so freaking long, but they wanted to call it the CFI minute. So I said, okay. And it wasn't a minute.
The CFI 20 minutes.
Hey, you asked for it.
We did.
And you got it. You got something.
We sure did. We got something, all right.
So we'll be chatting with each other about that. And it'll be a fun time.
The other fun part about that is we posted in our Discord and our Patreon looking for some feedback from people about what they would want to add to the conversation for winter flying. So we'll include some of those comments as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
In addition to the Discord, you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you enjoy our content and would like to support us, you can follow us on a variety of different tiers with a subscription on Patreon, where you get special bonus content like being able to watch this recording live as we put it all together.
Also, with the Discord, I don't think we mentioned this. If you're interested in participating in the conversation, send us an email, Flying Midwest. What is our email address?
Flying Midwest Podcast.
Oh, God. Send us an email at flyingmidwestpodcast@gmail.com, and we will get you a link to join our Discord server so that when we have topics like this, you too can contribute your thoughts.
I just want to say I feel super validated right now.
Why?
Because I kept forgetting the email, what our email was. And you always would razz me for it. And now we've come full circle. You've forgotten it.
I totally forgot it. Oh, so another thing to talk about real quickly, the holiday season is upon us. So if you heard our ads earlier in this episode, we talk about all sorts of cool stuff as far as our affiliate links, but also don't forget to check out our merch for your favorite aviator who also loves our podcast and wants to represent. So winter flying season is upon us, as we've mentioned earlier. So get yourself some warm attire like a hoodie or a crew neck sweatshirt for your next flight that has our logo on it that you can get in our merch store. FlyMidwest.com/merch.
And if you don't have somebody that wants our merch, but you want our merch, some members of my family will buy their own presents, give them to somebody else to wrap for them, and then pay them back. So buy yourself a shirt and have somebody else wrap it for you.
Or just buy yourself a shirt. It's fine.
Or just buy yourself a shirt.
No shame in that case.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us once again on the Flying Midwest podcast. And until next time.
See ya!
Like, rate, and review.
See ya! See ya!
Flight 536, contact Minneapolis Center 132.35. Good day.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Flying Midwest podcast. Until next time, podcast service terminated, squawk VFR, frequency change approved. Good day.
You can do whatever. I'm just trying to load the link to the live stream to see how it's...
Oh no, his internet's going to get even worse.
If you do the Wisconsin Wi-Fi, it's going to break everything.
I'm doing
probably.
I'm doing it on my phone, which is hooked up to 5G.
I mean, still, you're running the risk of downing the internet for the entire state.
The whole state.
The whole state.
Then we'll have to read that news event.
Yeah.
I woke up and then went back to sleep. When I woke back up, there was something, I heard something. I'm like, what's playing? What's going on? My phone had been playing one YouTube short for like an hour and a half. It drained all of its battery. So it was probably more than that.
Was it mine? Was that how I got to like 10,000 views on mine?
That's exactly what happened. That's the only reason you made that many views.
I hope so. I was just like, wow, I really hope that was a small creator that I like helped them out and gave him a few bucks, you know? Make me.
Okay. I will. Should we jump into some news and out events? See what I did there? You said make me, and then I did.
I'm doing a terrible job rambling about what I'm trying to say, but you know what I'm trying to say.
That's kind of the problem.
This was 3 months ago.
But that seems like forever ago.
It does. I don't remember conversations I had yesterday.
You don't probably remember half of this conversation.
I wasn't here for half of this one.
Ready, hit it. Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
I'm like, why isn't anybody talking? And then I looked and it says it's me.
He's like, is Badger on mute again?
I'm like, what are you doing? Why aren't you talking?